Hi, today we're going to work on our foundation in cueing and alignment. So rolling down onto the floor. Align your legs so they're parallel in line with the hips. Knees are pointing up toward the ceiling, feet are pointing straight out in front of you. Let's start with the neck placement. Most of us tend to live with our chin up a little too much neck extension. This causes a lot of neck pain and shoulder pain. So the traps have to work a lot harder to hold that head up. So to adjust that, tilt your chin down toward your chest. Imagine a string is pulling out the back of the top of the head, creating space in those vertebrae. You should be able to fit a fist between your chin and your chest, or even an apple, which may be a little bigger, giving you a little more leeway. Moving on to shoulder placement. The shoulders tend to crunch in like this for most of us. This causes a lot of tension here and as well in the shoulders and the neck. We want to get rid of all that, so open those shoulders, widening them, pressing them into the floor. You can also think of sending your shoulders to the opposite ends of the room, away from your center line. The shoulders going down the back is those shoulder blades in the back near your spine. They glide right down the rib cage toward the back pockets of your pants. A lot of us live up here with our shoulders in our ears. So we want to be able to separate that down. Rib cage placement is next. The ribs hold the lungs and the heart. And as you'll be working on in the core section, breathing is extremely important to our core work. The breath goes out to the sides and into the floor, and then exhale, everything goes out. So while we're breathing into the back and the sides of the ribs, it's imperative to keep those ribs laced together in the front so that we don't lift the rib cage like this. This causes a lot of tension in the lower back. We're opening up the ribs to keep that good posture with the shoulders back, but we're letting all of this go so there's no core support. So press those ribs back into the floor and think of your sternum right here. It pushes into the mat. That helps keep those ribs down at all times. Once you have that sternum there, the shoulders tend to roll forward. So you got to think of those opening back again, only so far that your sternum stays in. So focus on the rib cage first, then adjust the shoulders. Moving down to the pelvic placement. Our pelvis, here, if you put your hands in this diamond shape and put the fingertips on the pubic bone, the heel of the hand will be on these hip bones here on the edges. When you tilt your pelvis and press your lower back into the floor, we call that an imprint. You're literally imprinting your lower back into the mat. Thinking of flattening it. It should feel like a stretch in your back. And when you come back to where you naturally were, you have that small space underneath the small of your back. Now the ribs, again, shouldn't pop up just because you're in neutral. Okay? It's a very, very small space, enough for only a little ladybug to crawl underneath. From here, it's imperative to keep neutral in a lot of things we do because it's the natural curve of the lower back. So the lower back goes in, the mid back goes out, and the neck goes in. These all stack on top of each other so that your spine works the way it was designed to, and it's supported fully in those positions. When we imprint the lower back, that helps engage the abs a little more at times, as well as supporting our core and our back for other things. So sometimes we'll be using imprint and sometimes neutral. It's important to know how it feels in your own body, and both are important for different reasons. Review it again. Imprint that lower back, flattening it into the floor, and neutral, enough for little ladybugs to crawl underneath. Moving into leg alignment. The hips, knees, and toes. The knees and the second toe should always line up with each other. So even as we turn out or turn in, that's the correct alignment. If you're going to wing your foot in or out, that's a purposeful choice. But most of us live out here instead of here as a general rule. This is important to live right here where you could see your big toes along the inside of your knees so that we have that correct alignment, avoiding injury in the hip, knee, and ankle. That's our basic alignment and cueing. You can always come back and review this and enjoy the rest of your day.